I'd like to call the meeting to order. The Town of Southbridge, a joint general government subcommittee / town council meeting, Wednesday, May 15th, 2024 at 6 p.m. in the Veterans Room. This meeting is being recorded by audio and video. Agenda number 1, call the meeting to order. Agenda number 2, roll call. Councilor Dow.
Here.
Councilor Marchetti, absent. Councilor Montigny, present. Citizen Member Kelly.
Present.
Citizen Member Clements is absent. We have a quorum. Agenda item number 3. Review an amendment to the Town of Southbridge Mass Code of Bylaws, Chapter 11, Departmental Revolving Funds, Section 11-500, Authorized Revolving Funds by adding the following. 11-500.8, Senior Center Revolving Fund. 11-500.8.1, Fund Name. There shall be a separate fund called the Senior Center Revolving Fund authorized for use by the Council on Aging. 11-500.8.2, Revenues. The town accountant shall establish the Senior Center Revolving Fund as a separate account and credit to the fund all of the program fees, private sponsorship, donations, and participation fees charged and received by the Council on Aging in connection with the operation of the Senior Center. 11-500.8.3 Purposes and Expenditures. During each fiscal year, the Council on Aging may incur liabilities against and spend monies from the Senior Center Revolving Fund for payment to instructors, presenters, service providers, supplies for special programs, and repairs in connection with the operation of the Senior Center. 11-500.8.4 Other requirements / reports, none. 11-500.8.5 Fiscal years. The Senior Center Revolving Fund shall operate for fiscal years that begin on or after July 1st, 2024.
Do you need a motion for that?
No. Probably not, but you can if you want.
So, so this is on, for this, it's going to the town council for the first reading on Monday night. The purpose of this is during the course of our opera meetings and throughout the year, we were realizing that the senior center takes in funds, especially for like meals that they provide. You know, we have the ARPA funds, but then we ask seniors to give like $5 to try to get, you know, them to participate, not that it's all free. What it would allow Katie to do would be able to collect that money, deposit it in the revolving fund, and then through the Council of Aging be able to reallocate it without, you know, it just closing out to free cash at the end of the year. Just be revolving it, where she could continue to use it in and out for special programs, or i.e. she needs to buy supplies for an activity or pay somebody for an activity, but everything would be authorized by the Council of Aging. So the Council of Aging would take a vote and authorize the expenditures out of that account. So this language was identical to what the town of Sturbridge is. This is out of their bylaws for their Council of Aging and their Senior Center revolving fund.
Okay, I would look for a motion and a second for this. There's a couple items in here that I think that are supposed to say for town council.
Motion rule.
You have a
Second.
Okay.
Question.
Councilor Shenier wanted to say something real quick. Joe first?
Yeah.
Councilor Dow.
When you say council on the aging, is only one person?
No, the Council of Aging is
The
a
whole
committee.
committee?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
They have a president,
We have a board,
secretary,
9
of the board,
members.
Okay.
5 members.
So they're gonna vote to make sure.
Yeah, so it would be an oversight of that
not-
fund. So it's not just one individual that's able to write whatever
Thank you.
goes in and out.
Councilor Shenier.
2 questions. The charter doesn't give authority to the Council on Aging. The charter, it says that the Council on Aging will assist the Senior Center Director. So I have concerns that because they don't meet very often, they're gonna tie Katie up and not getting things either paid or done. That's my one question.
Okay, I will definitely look into that.
Okay, my second question is, shouldn't we put /senior center / community center? Because she also collects money under the community center for the use of the gymnasium.
That goes into a different account.
Yeah.
There's a revolving account for the
Okay.
community center, so like Earl's pay
What's
comes
the
out of
next?
that, and
There's rental of buildings, so rental of
Yes.
buildings goes directly to a different
a
account.
different account, it has its own.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Thank you. So if you could just look at the chart and see if it
Yeah,
conflicts.
I will, thank you. I will, yep.
Mr. Kelly.
So, where they were taking in funds beforehand, what were they doing with the funds?
So typically it'd be a turnover to the treasurer collector. and then just go into a receipt and not the ability, so it goes into receipts and not an ability to use that fiscal year. It would have to go, so that you'd only have your budget. So this gives you a mechanism too for like a donation to be able to be used for the purposes of that.
And so, what kind of things are they collecting money for? Is it just donations from?
Well, no, it was
or
like
do they
meals.
have-
So
okay.
like, especially a lot of this was the impetus because of the meals that they have with the program. So they charge $5 for the meals, the money comes in,
Okay.
they may do a 50-50 or whatever, the money comes in. And for accounting purposes, we don't, because there was a prior issue with a former rec director that was taking monies in, that ended up just keeping it in a drawer, not accounting for it. So this just gives us a better oversight of those monies that come in.
Okay.
As opposed to keeping them in the drawer and saying, hey, I got a receipt, I gotta run down and go get something. It just gives an ability to use monies in a time limit. But everything's oversight because it all is managed still by the accountant's office. So you can't just go and spend out of it without a purchase order. It's just where the money comes out of to be readily available.
Anybody have anything else? Councilor Daniel.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, through you. Should there be some kind of report made to someone?
Well, I think the reports are just the regular financial reports would be the regular reports that we provide. I think this special reports is anything to any special agency,
Alright.
so.
Would you like to say something else, Mr.
Yeah,
Kelly?
on that point, I don't think the other funds in section 11, I don't believe require reports. either.
They don't either, so.
All right. If there's no other discussion, all those in favor? Opposed? Unanimous of all present. And Citizen Member Clemens came in the middle of that agenda item, for the record. Agenda item number 4, review revisions to Schedule 1 and to approve 2% increases effective July 1st, 2024. Entertain a motion to recommend to Town Council for approval.
I'll move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is this just a regular old 2% COLA?
The 2% COLA through across the board. This is the chart that we use when we develop the budget. So everything that we had within the budget for all departments is with the 2%. We did make a couple changes, like take the lead civilian dispatcher out of the S8 because they now under a contract with the police contract, so they wouldn't be part of this schedule. It's within the collective bargaining agreement.
Uh-huh.
So that's why we have that out of there. And then the other thing that we did too was we took the cable commission, the cable workers out of Schedule 5 because they're actually in Schedule 1. So it's just a cleanup of that from prior
Okay.
iterations that we hadn't caught. And I believe the last thing was the recreation director, because they are also on the Schedule 1. They were on both schedules, so we just cleaned that up. But other than that, everything was just the 2% raise that we use for the budget during the fiscal year, during our budgeting process.
Okay. Does anybody have any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Unanimous of all present. Agenda item number 5, review revisions to Schedule 5 to approve 2% increases effective July 1st, 2024. Entertain a motion to recommend to Town Council for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, and is there any other revisions in this one?
No, outside of what I
It
just
just said,
Yeah.
okay, so pretty much explained everything.
So those included the plumbers, all this inspector there in the building?
Yep, everything was whatever the adjustments were. The only adjustment that we will further consider is the wire inspector, because we're looking at, I think I brought it up there in the budget, we're looking at what that pay schedule is, because the number of inspections he does for the salary that he's making is he's well underpaid. But it's a matter of how do we revise that compensation, because some towns are doing a 70% of the inspection fees. And then if you look at that, where does, if you look at the plumbing inspector, 70%, he's pretty much compensated where he's at. The wire inspector is totally out of whack. So it's a matter of, for the equity of all the positions, so we have to come up with a proposal, but we will be doing that pretty soon.
Yes.
Councilor Jones?
Section 2, especially with all these big projects, solar panel,
Right.
all these stuff's coming on.
Right, so you have to also have a cap, because the 70% of a huge wiring inspector could be, you know, 1 year, the wiring inspector could have a lot of income, and then another year, not a lot. So we're looking at a bunch of different models throughout different towns.
That's what I was
Just-
gonna ask.
Yeah, to see what that is, because some are 70%, and some are 70% capped at this amount. Some have a floor, and then a percentage over that. So there's a whole variety of models that we're looking at.
And you know how long it's gonna take to?
I'm hoping
look at that?
when Dean gets back from his vacation, we'll definitely take. But we've been in touch with the wire inspector now and the building department to let them know that that is
Thank
ongoing.
you.
They gave us a lot of information as to the number of inspections over a certain number of years, how much income came in for those inspections, where they're at now, how many solar inspections, because there's a lot of variety of factors. It's just not just the house inspection, how long it takes for those inspections. The wiring one, I think, is the most complicated one. I know the Sailor Weights and Measures came back to us and he wanted further compensation for additional inspections. And, you know, that's under review, but the wire inspector is the big one. The plumbing inspector, I think, is right on. It's the wire inspector that we have to really take a look at.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Unanimous of all present. Agenda item number 6, review, discuss the transfer from town manager car allowances account number 001123-519700 in the amount of $2150 to the following town manager accounts: 001123-571100 town manager conference and meetings reimbursed $750. 001123-573000 town manager dues and subscriptions $300. 001123-534100 town manager advertisements and promotions $1,000. And it's supposed to say entertain a motion to recommend to town council for approval.
Some,
Second.
And Mr. Manager.
Thank you. So all departments have been asked, and you'll see on Monday night, there's gonna be a lot of transfers. All departments were told to look at their budget items. With my town manager's account, what happened in the town manager conference and meetings reimbursement, Michelle had, was a new person on board. When she got here, we sent her to the MMA. They didn't have it budgeted in her budget, so we took it out of my line item, thinking I don't have any more conferences throughout the year. And I forgot that I didn't realize there's a spring conference for the Mass Municipal Managers Association.
That's the next one.
So I'm slated to go to that. So that's just to give enough money into that account to allow me to go. It's per contract too. I'm allowed to go to those, but it just allows me the money for that. And the dues and subscriptions, there's a go-to-meeting item that we use for the fire station building committee. It's really the last year that we do it. It was an automatic payment that came out of my credit card because I was the former chair of that. But we use it for the fire station building committee, and they're finishing up with their Zoom meetings. They use it occasionally. So it's the reimbursement for me to get reimbursed from that. And the big one was the town manager advertisement and promotion. We've had a lot of public hearings and notices that have gone up. So that's the cost borne on that we have to, because we did a huge, I'm taking it out of the town manager's advertising and promotion, but we had the huge 2 tax title postings that we've done in the Stonebridge Press. So until we figure out where the tax title accounts are, we have money in our accounts to be able to handle that within our own account. So I think this is something we've talked about, and I talked about it during the budget season. When we look at centralization of some of these accounts, that everything, there should be one specific, because there's a lot of different departments have advertising and promotion or office supplies or something like that, that there really should be a centralized account for that. And I think that's something we'll have to take a look at, or we are going to look at over the next fiscal year. But this would get us through the rest of this fiscal year for advertising and promotions.
Okay. Does anybody have any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Unanimous of all present. Agenda item number 7.
If I could just real
Yes,
quick,
sir.
just to update, nothing for discussion this evening. I will need a couple of gen government meetings because we have to renegotiate host community agreements, to have amendments done to them because of the new cannabis commission. Review of host community, you can't have the impact fees as part of that or the language that they have to give, to the social agencies or whatever, however that language was. So Green Meadows, all of them are approaching us. One of the host community agreements came in and with just amendment and it said sign this. And I'm like, no, I'm not signing, deleting something in a paragraph. So I just received the draft from Copeland and Page, or KP Law, on Friday. So we're gonna be reviewing that, getting everybody to a standardized agreement to amend them. So that will be coming forward
So-
because that's gonna have to be done by mid-May, mid-June, because all of these agreements are starting pending. So, Green Meadows had submitted their renewal for the host agreement, and we told them to submit it because we didn't have an amended version. Cannabis Commission then, and that was based on our legal opinion, but it got kicked back, but they have to resubmit, and we have to do it within a time period. So just to
So-
let you know that will be coming forward.
Likely a
relatively
general government meeting before each of the next two June
quick.
meetings.
Yeah, I'm shooting to have this done by the second meeting in June,
Very good.
just to give you a heads up that it has to.
Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
All right. We're not supposed to discuss these items.
No
So
discussion.
it really just about the attendance of these next two meetings.
I just wondered if you could put on the next meeting or the future meeting,
Yeah.
the possibility of allowing the town to allow tax payments to be done if they're behind in a payment plan.
On what?
Taxes. Somebody that's behind, we don't allow tax payments now, so.
So
I'm not going to have a
we're not going to
discussion
discuss it,
of
but
we
you
can have an
should.
offline conversation.
Yeah,
about
you should
it.
totally forward any more information to the town manager, and we can
Okay.
look into those things. Okay, agenda.
Well, I was gonna say, Mr. Chair, maybe there should be a line on our, because people asking to put things on next meetings is an important thing.
Well, we
so-
did that at the beginning, and nobody seemed to do anything. So we can discuss that next time. But today, agenda number 7 is adjournment.
Okay.
Ready? There's nothing left on the agenda. Can we have a motion?
I ask friendly, will allow Mr. Clemens to say what you'd like to be added on the next agenda, please?
She did. She said she wants there to be an item that says future items, so we can discuss future items on the next agenda.
Yeah, and I don't think that's illegal to do that as long as you don't discuss the item, as long as you bring up the
She's
topic.
right.
And anybody, that's what that's what a meeting is
So-
for. You know,
So
to
we have something now? or
No,
that's it,
she
we're
wants
gonna
there to
add
be the item, future items, so
Oh.
we can have this discussion.
okay.
I don't know if it's future items, but it should be something. And I was just making,
No,
I won't make any comments because, actually, no, I have a request.
Yes.
Sorry, you got me a little confused with the attitude.
Adjournment?
That's okay.
Yeah, it was confusing.
It is confusing. Mr. Town Manager, could you make sure, you talk about bringing this cannabis thing forward, but can it be a little, make sure it's timely enough so we have time to digest it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no,
And
I
then
mean,
if there's comments or something,
Yeah,
it's not just gonna go right to
absolutely.
vote, like it's a Wednesday and it's vote Monday, can we get
No.
it
yeah.
before that? So-
Yes, Ken is
So there's time
actually,
for
Ken is working on it down in Planet.
Okay.
I met with him today, so he's gonna get those together so that, because there's gonna be the 4 plus a new one.
okay, well, I appreciate just the timeliness, so we have time to go over it, thank you.
Some move.
I'm good.
Second.
All those in favor?
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.